Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Scorpio energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because everybody has free will, and some people harness high vibe Scorpio energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Scorpio energy, some people harness a more self-focused Scorpio energy. So we all tap into Scorpio energy. And, whatever type of Scorpio energy you harness would probably be the type of people you'd like to be in a relationship with. So you might know a Scorpio and they could harness more worldly or shadowy Scorpio, and you harness high vibe Scorpio. High vibe Scorpio is people aligned with truth and love and justice and fairness, want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. We're emotionally complex human beings, and they look at life as an adventure to be lived, but other people hold back from going on that adventure. The Eight of Wands, Sagittarius energy about higher learning and education, and life's an adventure to be lived where we're going to go experience it emotionally, and not everything we go to experience is going to work out the way we want. And some people then get in their ego, in their fear, in their shadow nature, and they kind of give up on believing in their dreams because they got hurt before. So they're no longer willing to listen to their intuition. But our intuition led us to the people we got in relationships with before because we had lessons learned from them. And in higher learning and education, we have to learn the lesson we were meant to learn. Did I have growing up and maturing and healing to do? Did they have growing up and maturing and healing to do? Was I trying to get in a relationship with someone who is more worldly focused than love focused, more fear focused than hope focused, more self focused and all about themselves than working cooperatively with others? And we see the truth. How did I have to grow up and mature myself? And we deal with the truth. And then the truth is we learn the lesson because the truth sets us free, and then we can move forward again. But some people aren't there yet. Life's all about learning lessons. When we've learned some lessons in life, expanded our perception of ourselves and the world around us, then maybe we're ready to step outside of our comfort zone and face our fears. But everybody can get to that point at different stages of life. And we just have to see the truth of it and wish people peace. So what's going on in Scorpio energy? The Temperance card, Sagittarius energy, trying to help people balance out their strong emotions, to wrap their brain around this game of life. Why? Because in Scorpio energy of the Seven of Cups, it's confusing. We can have a lot of different feelings and thoughts about different people. I hate them. I love them. I don't ever want to talk to them. I hope they call today. It's confusing. And then we also have to realize that some people are shadowy, and some people in shadowy Scorpio energy try to emotionally confuse people about the truth. Why do I want to be your friend or be in a relationship with you? I'm going to create the illusion it's love. That I want you to work here because I have your best interest at heart. I'm a good person. And then you find out they're nothing like who they presented themselves as. They're all about themselves. They're selfish, they're greedy, they're bossy, they're controlling, they're immature, they're prideful, they're egotistical. It's good for their ego and their image. And it was all just an illusion. And we need to see the truth of that. Some people are quite immature. Some people like the idea of being in relationships, but, they don't really have a concept of what it means to be in a relationship. Some people are more emotionally shallow and superficial than we realized, and we thought they were motivated by love, and they weren't. So it's just to see the difference and use our discernment. Listen to our intuition. Life's about learning lessons. A lot of times we maybe didn't listen to our intuition before, and we did what we wanted to do, even though our intuition was saying, I think there's something wrong here. And we learn the lessons, get out of our ego. Okay, I didn't listen to my intuition. My intuition was telling me there was something not right here, or this person didn't seem to be that authentic or genuine or warm or loving. But I wanted what I wanted, so I pursued it. And then we learn lessons from it. And if we're willing to get out of our ego about it, and offer ourselves a cup of love to reconcile ourselves with the past and to keep having hope and faith and belief in our dreams, then we move forward in life. Some people keep staying confused and they just try to keep balancing out their emotions that they really maybe haven't worked through the emotional confusion. So they just keep being confused, maybe not wanting to see the truth. And they just try to maintain balance within themselves about it. And other people are hoping other people will buy into the illusion. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, because that's what different people are doing in their Scorpio energy. Some of them are doing the work within themselves in the Strength card to temper their pride, their ego, their fear, their insecurities about the lessons that they've learned in the past, about people in their life that they thought in high vibe Scorpio energy that they were going to have deep, meaningful relationships with. And it maybe didn't work out that way, some of those relationships, and some of them did and are moving forward with you. And the high vibe people are tempering their more beastly nature, their pride, their ego. But I wanted that to work. It's like, well, we can't have a deep, meaningful relationship with someone who's more emotionally shallow and superficial. We can't have our dreams come into reality with someone who just tries to manipulate and confuse people about the truth, and they're really like a fake person in the world. Get out of your ego. It's not a certain person that we need in our life. It's the people that are on the same page as us, who have the same, are motivated and inspired by the same dreams as we have. And so we get out of our ego and we listen to our intuition. Why? Because of the 9 of Cups. We want emotional wish fulfillment. And we also, the high vibe people have done this work within themselves to temper their ego. That means the 9 of Cups can represent their emotionally independent of their egoic nature. Here we have the 7 of Cups. Here we have the 9 of Cups. The 2 of Cups. I have chosen a path. That wasn't the path. That didn't work out the way I wanted. I was emotionally confused in that situation. Some of the people I was dealing with are emotionally confused or emotionally shallow and superficial. Just wanted me to balance out my emotions about staying in that workplace, that friendship, or that relationship. And I did balance out my emotions. And for some of the people, I saw who is moving forward with me in truth and love and justice and fairness, who's become emotionally independent of their more egoic nature, and who isn't. And that's when we temper our fears and insecurities to become emotionally independent of the people in our life who aren't on the same page as us. I can still know them. I can still converse with them at work and in the neighborhood. They're just not people I maybe want to hang out with so much, because I kind of see that they don't harness this energy in a high vibe way. High vibe Leo, high vibe Cancer Pisces, high vibe Pisces. People who are in Pisces and Cancers, like emotionally intuitive nature and high vibe, people who have dreams and are connected in with their emotions and their intuition and have tempered their ego nature so they're not taking action more out of fear and insecurity and pride and ego and defensiveness and selfishness and self-centeredness. Those are the people you want to move forward with, people who harness this in a high vibe. High vibe Leo are people who are authentic and warm and giving and nurturing and life-giving energy. They align with life-giving energy. And the other people who got left behind, they could be confused because they could think the way they live their life seems like a perfectly wonderful way to live their life. Why don't other people want to be in a relationship with them? Maybe they haven't seen the truth about themselves, that they might harness these energies in a shadowy way. They might be kind of shadowy Leo, shadowy Pisces, Cancer. They have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. And because of their fear or their insecurity or their self-centeredness or something, they use their emotions manipulatively in a relationship, and they could think everybody does that. Isn't everybody just trying to create an illusion about who they are so that people will be in a relationship with them? Isn't everybody just kind of indulging themselves in their ego? Well, some people are. Some people are the real deal. They're really loving, nurturing, supportive people who maintain self-discipline within themselves. They're not acting in petty, envious, jealous, prideful, egotistical ways because that's not the type of person they want to be. The other people are maybe kind of that type of person, but they just try to present themselves as harnessing high vibe energy. So people will be in a relationship with them, and they could think everybody does that. We tend to view the people in the world like ourselves. And that's some lessons some high vibe people needed to learn. They might be very loving, giving, nurturing people, but we got to realize there's people out there in the world that aren't on the same page as you, who just wear a good false mask, who temper their more shadowy nature so that people will be in a relationship with them because that makes them happy, but they're just like not operating authentically. They're not authentically themselves. It's more like their egoic false persona person is living their life. And they're happy living their life like that and being in relationships with people being like that, but other people aren't happy being in relationship with those type of people. And they can't figure it out, maybe, and maybe some of them are more about their ego and their image and money and materialism. And if they seem to have those things, they can't understand why some people aren't staying at the workplace, friendship, or relationship. We seem to have all these things. We seem to have created this illusion of how wonderful our life is and how victorious and successful. Why aren't you staying? It's like, well, because you find just living your life like that emotionally fulfilling, and I kind of find it superficial and shallow. I'm not just about those things. We all want stability and security in our life, but people who are kind of tipped out of balance in their more worldly, shadowy nature, that is kind of much more important to them. And if they have those things, they're sure that that's the answer to any emotional confusion they have. I'm sure this will make me happy. I'm sure indulging in these things or making my life about myself or staying defensive or making my life about money or materialism, I'm sure that's the ticket. That will make me happy. And some other people have already kind of indulged in those things in the world and realized, the things of the world are meant to be enjoyed, but they're meant to be enjoyed from a place of love, not in place of love. And the other people want to be a more emotionally independent from the world in a way. We can all get caught up in the illusion of the world. Don't I want these things? And if I have these things, won't I be happy? As long as we haven't learned to temper our own fears and insecurities and love ourselves and believe in ourselves and deal with our own emotional confusion and fears and insecurities, to offer love and compassion and forgiveness to those things within ourselves so we can be independent of the past and independent of being manipulated by our more petty, immature, prideful, egotistical nature. We're going to keep getting ourselves involved in things that just confuse us because it's the truth that sets us free. And the truth is to be more emotionally independent in the world and from our worldly nature, to see the truth that it's about love. Love is what makes all the things worthwhile. But some people are like, well, I just want to be in a relationship, so I'm going to get in a relationship. It's like, do you like them? Do you love them? Well, there isn't anybody around for me to be in a relationship with, so I want to be in a relationship, though. It kind of gets me in my ego that I'm not in one, or I just want to indulge myself sexually. It's like, well, I don't know if that's going to work out the way that you want, but to each their own, and we've probably all been there before. So other people have learned I'm not going to engage in things anymore that aren't aligned with my truth, because it's learning the truth that if I want to manifest these type of things in my life, love and peace and hope and justice and fairness and balance and self-discipline, I need to exercise that within myself and then invest my time and energy into other people who've made that free will choice. Because when we kind of like high vibe energy represented by God, and if we haven't learned that lesson, shadow nature is kind of represented by the devil. We're going to learn some hard lessons. Do I want what I want? Yeah, I can go after what I want if I want. But if I'm not taking action in acting in truth and love and justice and fairness, and it's more about me kind of indulging myself, or because I'm in my ego, or because I'm confused, or because I just want to be in a relationship, odds are it's not going to work out the way I want. There'll be other people happy to be in a relationship with me. I'm not talking about like me personally, you know. There's all sorts of people in the world. Probably 50% of the people love it when other people are emotionally confused and in their ego. Yeah, cool. I'm on the same page. I'll indulge in a relationship with you. I also didn't choose to love and believe in myself and temper my fears and insecurities. Let's hang out. Let's be friends. Work here. Let's get married. You know, there's no shortage of people who want to be in a relationship with people who are on that page. But there's also other people in the world who have learned these lessons in life. And their foundation is holding back from people in the world who they know live their life like in shadowy energy. I've already been there. I've already done that. I've already been with people where it's because I wanted to be in a relationship, or gotten in relationships where it's more about ego and image or indulgence, thinking those things would make me happy. And all it did was confuse me. And I saw the truth. I need to temper. It's not about fixing other people and just trying to get them to do what I want them to do so I'm happy. I need to be happy within myself. I need to be more independent in the world, because shadowy energy is us being in our more codependent energy and looking outside of ourselves to things and people in the world to make us happy, validate our worth and value, fill up our cup emotionally. And the high vibe people have learned, I need to learn to love me. And I need the Virgo energy of the Ten of Pentacles can talk about going within to deal with some of the things we prefer to keep hidden in the dark that we didn't want to look at or didn't even know we needed to look at. And sometimes, we won't be kind of triggered into even doing this work within ourselves until we have gone through some painful life lessons. Maybe where people were trying to manipulate and control us because it worked for them. They were happy. But they wanted us to like stay right, or they were too controlling. It's like, well, now we have this. Now we got in this. You started working here, or we're friends, or you're in a relationship with me, maybe got married to me. Well, now we stay right here and we keep doing everything the same way we've done it. We hold back from taking creative, inspired action to listen to our intuition, to have that hopeful, believing spirit, and keep speaking our truth and keep moving forward in an emotionally balanced, loving way. And they're like, no, this is good. There, we got in a relationship. I'm happy. Let's stay here. And it's like, so we're never inspired to keep listening to our intuition. Oh, we don't have to do that. We got married, or you took this job, or you're my friend. Part of life is that we do have that creative, inspired nature within us to keep growing and maturing and facing our fears and kind of like growing to our full potential. But some people are like, well, no, I'm good with this. Look, we've created the illusion. We're in something, we like each other, or at least we did when we started this. We've got stability, security, you work here, we're married, we're in a relationship, whatever it is. I'm good, let's stay right here. Don't you ever change, because I don't plan to change. If my intuition starts to tell me I should take hopeful, believing action in my life, I'm going to be defensive. No. We need to move forward in this way because this looks victorious by worldly standards. We don't take creative, inspired action in our foundation to listen to our intuition. So the whole thing is, human beings have existed since the Stone Man age. And if there was everybody in the world had been like these people, we'd still be cave people. But we were all given our unique talent, skills, and interests, and our creativity, and our imagination, and our intuition. And some people came up with different ideas throughout the eons. And I'm happy they did. We came up with light bulbs and airplanes and cell phones, music, movies. But some people, they're not the type of people, they're people who want to conform to the world. Kind of creating an illusion that everything's wonderful. Look how stable and grounded and successful we are. And I'm happy about this. And this looks good for me. It's just kind of people who kind of lack that motivation maybe to really live their authentic life. High vibe Scorpio. I want to go on the roller coaster, God. I want to experience my life, the highs and lows. I can have all these things and I can still move forward and listen to my intuition. I can still speak my truth, but that's the thing. For some people to move forward and listen to their intuition and kind of get in the driver's seat of their own life and love and believe in themselves, they'd have to be willing to kind of stand up for how they're moving forward, which might be, here we have a lot of emotional investment in the world. And maybe, you have to be willing to live your authentic life. And some people aren't willing to defend their more loving, intuitive nature or align and defend the loving, intuitive people in their life who aren't trying to manipulate and control them. But they could have people in their life, because when we're in our shadowy energy, if it's not other people, it's just the world at large that manipulates us. I'd really like to move forward in this type of career or this type of job or do this or do that or hang out with those people. That's what really motivates and inspires me and what I love, from a place of love, not trying to hurt anybody, just living your authentic life, listening to your intuition about what you love and what drives and motivates you. But sometimes people get all caught up and emotionally caught up in the illusion of the world. What would people say? There's a part of people that wants to keep moving forward being in denial of the truth, that they kind of indulge their more immature nature, which is more about the pride and the ego and me and indulging me, making it all about me, maybe trying to control people and manipulate people in a relationship, tempt them. That's like the devil, right? I'm going to try to tempt you with these things of the world. You'll be happy. It's like, was it based on love? And other people could have people in their life, friends, family, workplaces and stuff. And all those people are living their life like that. Some people don't want to speak their truth that, there's other things I would like to do. And it doesn't mean you can't communicate. Those people can't come with, but maybe they know some of those people wouldn't come with. And you have to be willing to be more independent from some people in your life or the world at large, or your more worldly nature or self-centered nature or your more immature nature. You have to work through and do this inner work to figure out, because Virgo energy is about doing the inner work to figure out, why do I hold back? Why am I not moving forward and listening to my intuition and having that hopeful, believing nature and speaking my truth and getting in the driver's seat of my own life? Well, the whole thing is that does take work and effort. The Pentacles talk about investing time, energy, and effort in the 3D world. And some people are like, yeah, nah. They just turn their back to it. That takes work and effort. I'd have to figure out why. I'd maybe have to work through past pain, heartbreak, fears, insecurities, self-limiting beliefs. I'm good. I'm happy. I'll just live my life like this. And that's sometimes the truth that we realize, that we're in workplaces, friendships, and relationships with people that kind of lack some insight about why they do what they do, you know? Because the truth sets us free. Virgo's about seeing the truth about the Four of Pentacles. Capricorn energy can represent our worldly nature. I don't want to see the truth in my worldly nature. Some people want to keep moving forward in denial of the truth. They're really kind of defensive of living their authentic life, stepping outside their comfort zone, doing what really motivates and inspires them. And they don't want to see the truth that maybe they don't maybe want to admit that maybe they are happy with a more emotionally shallow, superficial way of living life and relationships. It's just maybe about indulging themselves in relationships anyway. Shadowy Scorpio, life's about death, sex, and taxes. Who am I going to have sex with? Well, what do you got? How much money do you have? What do you wear? What kind of image do you have? How much power? How much influence? Are you going to indulge me? I don't want to put in work and effort. I don't want to change. I want to keep doing life exactly the way I've done it. I want to create this illusion that everything's wonderful and how stable and wonderful my life is. Do you want to be in a life with me like that? And they'll maybe find someone who does. And that's the type of person, anybody basically who's willing to indulge them in their viewpoint of life, they're willing to hold on to and indulge themselves in a relationship with them. As long as that person doesn't listen to their intuition and ever they think won't be motivated by self-love to believe in their dreams and speak their truth, or until they do that, they'll move forward in a relationship with them, so long as that person doesn't see the truth that they're really kind of immature and all about themselves. Because otherwise we'd do love, right? We'd be just and fair and open and authentic and bold and brave and confident enough to move forward in love. But some people aren't. So I think some high vibe people, some people have already gotten out of these relationships and they've been doing this work within themselves to work through the confusion of it, to become independent of the past, and to hold back from living their life in a certain way and investing time and energy and effort into certain people in their life that they know they're not on the same page as. And doing this inner work and listening to their intuition. And when they're I think eventually, going through this process, eventually people are doing this work within themselves to heal and to love themselves, and they're happy. That's part of the process, getting out of the confusion. In the Two of Cups, offering yourself love instead of offering and emotionally investing, like in a Two of Cups, with people who aren't on the same page as you. You invest that love into loving yourself and healing from the fact of seeing through the illusion that people aren't who you thought they were. They're not motivated and inspired to be more independent from whatever manipulates them. And they're not motivated and inspired to be in a deep, meaningful relationship because somewhere along the way they decided to make life about themselves. And that about ourself is like, well, I'm defensive. I don't want to do love. I get hurt. So I'm not going to be, I don't want my more vulnerable, authentic nature out in the world. And some of those people are holding back from the loving people that are moving forward. And there could be a part of them that would like to move forward with them, but the loving people aren't going to keep indulging people who are kind of in their shadow nature. It isn't about trying to manipulate me to get me to stay in a relationship with me. It's about being truthful and honest and just and fair and loving. And that's just something some people aren't willing to do, because they would have to let their more authentic, vulnerable nature out to play in the world. And then their defensive worldly nature, harnessing these energies in a shadowy way, says, no, we can move forward and look successful in the world without letting our more authentic, vulnerable nature out to play in the world. And so long as their more defensive nature or worldly nature or materialistic nature or self-defensive nature keeps manipulating them, some high vibe people don't want to be in a relationship with them until they do the work within themselves to free themselves from the things that manipulate them, that keep them from living their more authentic life and being authentically themselves in the world and shining their authentic light. Some other people are moving forward, standing in their truth as they move forward. Like, no one is moving forward with me except the people in my life that have done this work within themselves. Those people are coming with. The people who are inspired to get out of their more egoic, or it should be more about me, and the scales should kind of be tipped in my favor, and you should kind of indulge me in my ego or my immature ways or my prideful ways or my lazy ways, or whatever. All those people, the people that are moving forward with you are the people who value a more balanced type of relationship. We all have free will to go hang out with people where it's more about indulging ourselves or immaturity or impulsiveness or lust or greed. But true victory comes when, you have a balance. Like, there are these things of the world that I want, but I want to feel proud of myself and that I act with character and integrity. And I'm in relationships with people who love me and people who are encouraging and supportive of me. Where some of the other people are in relationships with people who are just manipulating them for their own selfish, greedy, prideful reasons, ego reasons. I want to control you. I want to manipulate you. I don't want you to love and believe in yourself. I don't want you to go get your dreams because I'm not living my life like that. And then it would make me feel bad about my life. So I don't care if I'm your brother or your sister or your friend. I'm going to try to instill fear and insecurity and make you question yourself and the loving people in your life, because I don't want you to move forward in life that way, because I want you to make your life about doing life the same way I do it, because then we'll be on the same page and, you won't be different. And some people don't want to be different. And they let people manipulate and control them or the world. So what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Scorpio energy that they might not see coming? So I think of some of the high vibe people, there's some other people that I think would really like to move forward with some of you in relationships and friendships and romantic relationships. But they could have gotten themselves into something and, they'd have to speak their truth to get out of it, or they've been living their life a certain way, or they've been, we live in this world of duality for every, based on the lessons that we've learned in life. Some people are got some lessons learned. Some other people have already learned those lessons. For like every person who's learned these type of lessons, there's people on the other side that haven't. So you could cluster, if you put imaginary dots of all the different people in the world, we'd probably, I think, because God keeps things in balance, is my belief system, that there's equally as many people on each side of it. Then there's all the people in between kind of going back and forth. But some of the people that we've all dealt with in life are kind of mad at us because we are inspired to listen to our intuition and have that hopeful, believing nature. And they can't figure out why the hell we're not staying in that job, that friendship, or that romantic relationship because it looks victorious and successful. Well, what goes around comes around. And it was great for people who aren't aligned with their more self-disciplined, loving nature, for those people to be in a relationship with someone who is in loving energy. Well, what goes around comes around, and they might end up getting in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, and then maybe that will make them realize what it's like to be in a relationship with someone like them. How do you like someone kind of creating an illusion, but because of their fear and their defensiveness, you get the feeling that they're just kind of indulging you in a relationship? And of course, because of the status or the image or the money, they want you to keep staying in relationship with them, but they're unwilling to budge or change, and they could take defensive, immature action in a relationship instead of being more balanced and self-disciplined and mature and taking action from love. Well, then they might find out what it's like to be in a relationship with someone like themselves. And until then, if they're used to people kind of indulging them in their poor behavior, maybe they've been fortunate to and purposely look for people who are very loving and abundant to get in relationships with. And then they just create an illusion that they're that type of person too, but they're not. And eventually the high vibe people want to be in a relationship with people who have done that inner work, who have wrapped their brain around this game of life, that have learned these lessons in life, who have a little more hope and faith and belief in love than being defensive or manipulative or all about themselves. So what do the high vibe people not see coming? We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Judgment card. Because of the Two of Cups. Well, I think some of the people in your life that you do know in their Two of Cups energy are very motivated by money and materialism or status or image or codependency. They're probably going to get in those kind of relationships. And you're going to, every time we see people keep choosing not love and not truth and not justice and not fairness, it gets easier and easier to call judgment on them, to see the truth that they're not someone who's on the same page as you. What they choose to align with within themselves emotionally is different than what you choose to align with within you. And I think judgment is going to go in your favor. Everybody's going to reap what they sow. And the high vibe people from love who are willing to harness these energies in a high vibe way, that were willing from love to get out of their ego and learn lessons in life and heal and grow and invest in their foundation to love themselves. There's going to be other people in the world that have gone through the same process as you, have hung out with people who are like that too, that are going to want to hire you, because the Pentacles and Taurus and Virgo energy, there's going to be people who want to hire you, go into business with you, promote you, be friends with you, get in romantic relationships. King and Queen of Pentacles, the only married see the deck. If you're not married, people are going to want to marry you because they see that you are independent from the past, maybe some people that you previously moved forward with that you weren't seeing the truth about, that were kind of immature. And now you have seen the truth and you have gotten out of your more codependent energy and taken the reins of your own dualistic nature from love to get in the driver's seat of your own life. And people see that you're this emotionally mature person that they would want to be in a relationship with. What's coming up for the people who are happy kind of making their life about themselves or the world that they don't see coming? The Lover's card, the King of Wands, because of the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands. As the high vibe people move forward in their life and they quit investing their time, energy, and effort into people in their life who they realize aren't on the same page, well, then those people are bold and brave enough, making good decisions in their life as an emperor of their life, to be inspired And the wands can talk about communication. I'm going to go communicate with the people in the world who I do think are on the same page as me, that my intuition tells me are on the same page as me. And they're going to communicate with people in their life who they think have learned these lessons in life, who are making good decisions in their life, that when they're in workplaces and relationships and friendships with people, if the decisions they're going to make are going to affect the other people in their relationship, they make decisions that are best for everyone involved. And they're going to go communicate with those people, and those people are going to love these high vibe people. And the high vibe people, from an energy of love, have made that decision. Life's an adventure to be lived. I'm not going to keep staying in fear and insecurity and afraid of moving forward just because I came in contact with some shadowy people in my life who weren't willing to move forward with me in a more emotionally balanced, loving way. I've just seen the truth that they're kind of tipped out of balance, that they're kind of have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. And my idea of a fulfilling relationship is different than their idea of a fulfilling relationship. And I don't like people trying to manipulate me. I don't like people trying to control me, and I want to keep growing and healing and maturing myself. And the 10 of Pentacles can kind of be like, people have lived a phase of life like it's completely full. There is nothing new to learn there because there's a maximum of 10 in every suit. It's time to take the things that we liked about it, that were good about it, just like we did from age 15 to age 18 to 21 to 25. We take the good things that we learned from that phase of life, and then we let go of kind of a way of viewing life that way anymore, to be inspired to go to the next stage of life. Let's take the good things we learned about that. Let's go be an 18-year-old now. Let's put in work and effort to listen to our intuition and love and believe in ourselves, to believe that we can have victory being an 18-year-old. And then we're supposed to continue to do that throughout our life. But some people, they have a way of viewing life. And for some people, it was like, I just want to get a job. And then when I get a job and I get in a relationship, I'm good. So it's like you never plan to, you're not inspired to just work through some of the stuff, to let some stuff go, to maybe step out of your comfort zone, to grow a little more, heal a little more, just become a little bit more of who you can be. And some people are like, no, I'm good. And for some people, it's just a more worldly view of life. I refuse to let go of my more worldly view of life. And they're just going to be people who more conform to the world. If everyone else starts doing it, then maybe they would start doing things a little differently. But it's kind of high vibe energy, and high vibe, the Emperor, is people who are leaders in the world, people who listen to their intuition, step outside of the norm to bring needed change to the world. It's time to go to the next phase of life. It's like God is like always trying to get people, learn the lesson you meant from that. Take what you needed. Let's go to the next thing. I'm ready to create something new, but I need people who are on that page with me. And these people will keep working with them. They'll keep kind of reaping what they sow, and eventually they may get tired of it because there's nothing new to learn there. It's just like people getting out of the 1960s or the 1970s or the 1980s, and there's some people right now in the world kind of clinging still to the 1960s or something. So the high vibe people have decided life's an adventure, and those people are moving on, and those people are standing up for themselves. And that's what all these life experiences are about. We repeat a pattern, we learn lessons, we go to the next thing, and all of it could have been to go through these lessons that we learned in life to get us to stand up for ourselves, to speak our truth, to know our worth and value, to become more independent. And those are the people that are going to get in relationships with other people who are on the same page as them. And they are going to move forward victoriously because they've seen the truth. It's about truth and justice and fairness and treating other people the way you like to be treated. And another thing these people might not see coming is there might be someone who is willing to come get in a relationship with them. They harness more shadowy emperor energy, which can be, I think it should be about me. I'm kind of in my ego. I might have money, status, image, or whatever. I'm really good at wearing a false mask. I present myself in the world as this maybe stable, grounded, nurturing, warm person, but it's really just kind of an illusion that they don't want to change. And they're going to have people who are going to see them as looking like they're this kind of successful person in the world or stable or grounded or something, nurturing and warm. And there's going to be people who are going to want to get in a relationship with them. It's just that I think if they just recently rejected loving people, next up to bat is someone who's kind of immature like them. And that person is going to want them to move forward with them because they also could be in denial that they're kind of immature and they're more about the ego and the image and the status and how good it looks. And they could have had people who didn't wanted them to grow up and they didn't want to. And so, hey, we're on the same page. Let's move forward together. And then they'll find out what it's like to be in a relationship with someone like themselves. And maybe that'll wake them up. Or maybe they'll decide they're going to hold back from that person because that person is like them. And they're going to go out and try to find someone else who's kind of a more loving person and try to create their illusion with another loving person. But the thing is, we all get older and people have these life experiences. I think it's going to get harder and harder for people to try to manipulate loving people as they get older. And for other people, they don't actually want to be in a relationship or a marriage. They just want to indulge themselves. And then when people realize they're just indulging themselves in a relationship, kind of create the illusion they're willing to bring a dream into reality, but they're really not. And people put in work and effort with them in a relationship thinking they're going to bring a dream into reality, and they don't. So for your high vibe people, I think based on the lessons that you've learned in life, you're going to protect your foundation and listen to your intuition about anybody that might reach out to you, people you meet now in your future. And I think you're just going to really try to get to know someone to find out what drives and motivates them before you maybe let your more emotionally invested nature. I mean, I think with two queens, I think initially, people can be kind and friendly and encouraging and supportive to people, but it's kind of like, in a way, like how you do it with work coworkers or just people you meet that out in the world. It's different than letting your more I think I want to marry you nature or date you nature come out until you find out the truth of their foundation. And are they more emotionally mature? Have they grown up and learned lessons? Or are they someone just trying to get someone to indulge them? So I think the high vibe people are listening to their intuition. When their intuition is telling them they can they're ready to move forward with some people and again and speak. I don't think high vibe people have a problem speaking their truth with people. Some of the people that you speak your truth to, like I say, that's when you some people will show that they're kind of more about ego and image or being indulged, and other people won't. And you're just going to decipher between like the wheat and the chaff, who really has substance and who looks, because chaff is what's on the outside of a wheat kernel. And if you were to see it all laying around, the chaff could look like a wheat kernel, but a wheat kernel has substance in it. It's healthy, it's nutritious. the chaff is just an empty shell. It has no, probably, well, nominal health benefits. And I think you're going to decipher who has substance and character and integrity and self discipline and hope and faith and belief, and who are just kind of the manipulative blowhards in the world. So there you go, Virgo energy. No, Scorpio. Gosh, I think I've called you Virgo a lot, right? Let me see, because we got Virgo there, but we started out with Scorpio. Well, and I guess that's it. I guess I got kind of, but Virgo has to do with the foundation that we operate from. Let's see. Let me look at my chart here. No, I don't see Virgo and Scorpio. Well, in between Virgo and Scorpio on the astrological chart is Libra. So it could be just trying to get balance between, wanting these things in your life, but trying to balance between what really is more connected with your truth emotionally versus what's not. So there you go, Scorpio energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.